something that gets me really excited about the climate world, is just how creative people are.
Yes.
We have to navigate lots of different changes in the business world and the political world and the actual, physical world that we're living in. And just I'm continually impressed by all the constant ingenuity and innovation and the ways that people look at new technologies that are coming online and thinking about how can we really use that to move the needle on this important issue.
Hey there, and welcome to Impact After Hours, where changemakers sign off from work and log into life. I'm Camila Rente, CEO and co-founder of Hueman Group Media and your host. Today, I'm excited to find out what Kevin Brege, head of climate and sustainability for Google.org, is really like off-duty. You've probably heard of a company called Google. Well, Google.org is their philanthropic division, funding programs that include AI innovation and technological advancements to address global challenges. Over the past decade, Kevin has risen up the ranks at the company and directed initiatives focused on decarbonization, AI, wildfires, and more. But before his time at Google, Kevin was hitting a different type of goal, one that required a black and white ball and a lot of endurance. But I'll let him tell you more. Kevin, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, what a great introduction.
I hinted at this in my intro. Before you worked at Google, please tell us the story of how you were almost a pro soccer player.
Yeah, it turns out that almost word does a lot of work.
Almost.
That was my passion basically my entire life, childhood, all the way through college. And basically got good enough to make it my whole life, but not quite good enough to pay the bills. So I played all the way through college, did a year of semi-pro, and then I learned, I think that semi is going to stay there the whole time and I need to go find another job.
Oh my gosh.
Unfortunately, I tore my Achilles at the same time, which basically put an end to any aspirations of playing pro. So here I am inside of the internet.
Yeah, inside of the internet. I had a recent conversation with Kate Knack, who is the vice president of the Allstate Foundation and Social Impact. She was actually, this is not meant to, put salt in the wound or something for you, Kevin, but she actually made it to the Olympics as a gymnast.
Wow.
But I remembered that conversation and how, the skills that she learned. And even if, you made it as a semi-pro player, you said, right? So I'm sure there's a lot of things and experiences that you kind of maybe brought to your work at Google. How was that pivot like?
Yeah, I'd love to hear that other conversation that you had from someone that actually made it all the way to the Olympics. But I think there's a lot of things about sports, especially team sports, I think translate well to honestly all walks of life. It's a chance to really understand you cannot do these things on your own. You really have to work as a team. Everyone has their own skill sets that they're bringing to the table, and that's actually a good thing. You want to be complementary with your teammates or afterwards with colleagues, but it's also a chance to really learn very visibly and very emotionally what failure is like. And to have tangible goals and tangible wins. I think those are lessons that you can learn in a pretty accelerated period of time while playing sports, and have a lot of resonance with, I think, the working world. So I think those lessons were really helpful.
And then so maybe take us back to when you first started at Google, being in a more professional setting, in the corporate world, and then sustainability and climate. Was that kind of the immediate path for you at Google, or how did you end up in your current role, essentially?
Man, how much time do we have? It's been quite a journey. But I think I honestly, this is revealing my own ignorance. I did not know there were jobs at Google for non-software engineers. And I'm from Mountain View, where Google is also from. So I was actually back at home and ran into an old friend at a bar. And she mentioned that she was working on a team at Google that was hiring. And I was so interested in that I, took her up on her offer to beat the team. And I joined a part of the team that was entirely different from the world that I'm in now. I was on a payments operations team. And I absolutely loved the company, but had a hunger to get more into the social impact space. That's what I studied in school. And that's really been my passion kind of throughout my life and career. And, a place like Google is such a unique organization. There were all these teams that kept on popping up, and I kept on trying to find different ways to angle in.
Yeah.
And eventually found my way to a group that doesn't exist anymore called the Google Energy Team, doing a project in Kenya with this incredible group, half based in California and half in Nairobi. And from there, kind of getting my foot in the door in the social impact side of the company. I met the amazing folks at google.org, I want to say 8 or 9 years ago. And haven't left since.
And it's interesting because we're recording this during Climate Week here in New York. So we're in the thick of it. It's been so busy. There's thousands of events and, of course, thousands of people who are working in sustainability, climate, working on these solutions. What do you think is the biggest misconception about this field? And if you can also share one of your favorite things about it.
Okay. Good question. Yeah. The climate world does love a week and a convening. It is conference season for sure. I would say the biggest misconception about the field is that it's a separate field. Climate sustainability touches everything.
Yes.
And it's not a standalone thing that you put off to the side. Every decision you make, everything that you're working on in some way is impacting for the better or for the worse, the climate. And I think there's a role for all of us to play, even if it's not in your title. And I think, there's a lot of people that I talk to outside of this world that often feel powerless. It's such a big thing. But I do think actually individual little actions that we can take in our domains is really how we're going to make the changes that we need to see. And I think relatedly, something that gets me really excited about the climate world is just how creative people are.
Yes.
We have to navigate lots of different changes in the business world and the political world and the actual, physical world that we're living in. And just, I'm continually impressed by all the constant ingenuity and innovation and the ways that people look at new technologies that are coming online and thinking about how can we really use that to move the needle on this important issue.
People are coming up with really creative solutions to fight climate change and, make the world more sustainable. So we want to bring that energy. I don't know how.
Let's do it.
into this conversation, Kevin. Let's do it. So let's start off with a lightning round of seemingly random questions. Are you ready to play?
I love this. Let's do it.
Which of these activities would you want to do every single day? Cycling, running, snowboarding, or surfing?
Oh my God. You just picked like 4 of my favorite things in the world. I would say probably surfing. There's something about the combination of being outside but being in the water that I think is like really restorative in a way to calm your mind down. It's not always practical, so probably running is the more realistic answer. You can always pack your running shoes and you can do it anywhere. But that would be amazing if I could create a life where I could do that.
Next question. If you could live the life of a fictional character for a day, who would it be and why?
Oh, wow. A fictional character. That's a good one. I'm trying to think of someone that would be like an adventurer or, living a life on the road, I think would be fun. I don't know who that would be though. I was going down the spy route, but that seems like a pretty stressful life.
But Kevin, it's just for a day.
Oh, just for a day. Yeah. Okay.
For a day.
I'll be James Bond for the day.
Oh my gosh. Amazing answer. Wouldn't that be cool? Because cool. If it's just for a day after 24 hours, if you, I don't know if you will, if in this scenario, you will still have the injuries if you get yourself injured because of the many stunts that you'll be doing. but that would be really cool.
I think I could survive one day.
You can survive one day. I trust that you will survive, Kevin.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so let's make this next question a multiple choice one. So pick whatever you want to answer.
Okay.
Have you or would you ever Google yourself? Or what is the last thing you Googled?
Oh, I have unfortunately Googled myself.
It's a lot of people have. Don't worry.
I know, that's embarrassing. It's been a long time. Maybe I should check to see if there's been anything terrible written about me recently. But yeah, I've done it.
Okay, final question for this round. On a plane, what are a couple of must-have items in your carry-on bag?
Ooh. Okay, so I definitely, if it's a red eye or I'm trying to sleep, I need a face mask to cover the eyes. Mm-hmm. And then you need to bring your own plug-in headphones. Everything's Bluetooth now, but if you want to watch a movie on the screen, you often need, I can never get that to work. You need the actual like old school plug-in headphones.
Yeah.
And the ones the airlines give you are no good. So that's a must-have for me. Yeah.
Perfect.
And like a gallon of water.
And a gallon of water. Yeah, because it is hard sometimes to flag the flight attendant for a cup of water, right? Okay, very practical. I love it. That's the end of the lightning round. Kevin, you passed with flying colors. Okay, so let's continue the travel conversation. You mentioned to me that you've traveled an unhealthy amount. Can you break that down for me? What does that mean? How many countries have you been to? Can you tell us about maybe your most memorable trip or any recent place that you've been to that has stuck with you?
Yeah. One of my favorite topics. I travel a lot for work, but I also get to travel a lot for fun. It's funny, mm-hmm. I'll be so exhausted from traveling for work, and then I'll finally get a vacation, and all I want to do is get on a plane and go somewhere else.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I've been to over 70 countries, which is, I think, a lot.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And a lot of those are through my job here, which is incredible. So mm-hmm. I've got to see a lot of Google offices around the world and got to meet people from all over the place. And I was in London last week for work, which was a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite places to go. But I would say one of my favorite places to go is South Africa. Uh-huh. I used to live there for a bit and actually studied there as well for my study abroad back in college. And I just think it's such an amazing country. It's so welcoming and open, and I think misunderstood. But it has a little bit of everything. It has, nature and culture and amazing cities, amazing beaches, wineries, you name it. It's an amazing place to travel. So that's one of my favorite places to go.
Definitely. And so from you going around the world, and then you talk about nature a lot, right? And I suppose also with your work at Google, you're connected to nature. But can you share maybe the most profound or memorable experience you've had in nature?
Oh, wow. That is going to be hard to come up with a single one. I would say the thing that's coming to mind is I went to Norway last year.
Okay.
And, I live in California. We have beautiful coastlines and mountains and everything like that. So I had sort of thought I'd seen it all. And I was absolutely blown away by just the fjords coming, the mountains coming straight out of the water. And we were there in the springtime and the waterfalls were gushing, and it was 75 degrees and the flowers were out, and it felt like the cows were singing. It was just,
oh my gosh,
pretty idyllic. And I was very surprised at how stunning it was. So highly recommend going. Almost no people where we were. And it just makes you remember just the sheer awe and power of nature, and like instant forgiveness. Any stress you're feeling, any tiredness, you're just like reset immediately.
Okay, this one I'm curious about because we talked about your work and how you love travel. If there was a category on Jeopardy that you'd absolutely crush, what would that be?
I think I would
Not math.
not math. Definitely
Not
not
math.
math. I'm probably the worst person in this building at math. Actually, I can guarantee that. I would say probably like obscure 90s sports facts. I would absolutely crush.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Give me one obscure 90s sports fact that you know.
Okay, let's see. I would say oh, now you're putting me on the spot. I got to think of my own question to answer.
What sport? Under that category, the subcategory, what sport specifically do you think you know most about?
Yeah, so I mean, I obviously soccer was the sport that I played the most,
Yeah.
but my dad's from Detroit and is like a diehard baseball guy, and he's been taking me to baseball games my whole life.
Wow.
And that's like a special thing that we get to do together. But he brought me up. Speaking of math, he's a math teacher, and he used baseball as a way to try to teach me math, so to teach me fractions and things like that,
my
because
gosh.
it was something that I could relate to. So I know a lot about batting averages and slugging
Yes.
percentages and all of that baseball stuff.
First, I don't know why, but one of the movies that I've rewatched the most, I have a handful of movies that I've seen over and over, but Moneyball is one of them.
Oh, so good.
Mm-hmm.
Great book too.
Oh, I have not read the book, but I've seen the movie a couple of times. Like whenever I see it, like, I don't know, on a streaming service or something, I play it because it's so interesting.
Yeah.
Because I actually love math. And because my dad loves all kinds of sports. So my dad has two daughters, just me and my sister. It's kind of like I was the one kind of tasked with being with him to watch games.
Nice.
So whenever he's here visiting, like we take him to, I brought him to the Yankee Stadium, and like, Madison Square Garden, like, all of
Amazing.
the stadiums
Yeah.
where these big sporting events are held. I kind of took that upon myself to, be with him and watch these. So, yeah. So it's nice to hear too that your dad, brought you to all of those games. I think those are kind of some of the core memories, I might say.
Yeah.
Like growing up and you would spend that time together. Speaking of which, actually, this might be related
Okay.
to my next question. Who has had the biggest impact in your life?
Oh, I'm sure everyone says this, but definitely my parents, both my mom and my dad, are incredibly instrumental in my life and still are to this day. They live just 30 minutes away and I see them all the time. And they have had and continue to have a huge impact on my life.
Well, Kevin, we have come to the end of this conversation.
Oh, no.
What is your go-to after hours media? What have you been watching, reading, or listening to lately?
I'm a big reader, especially after hours on the earlier side. I like to read in the morning before work. I like to avoid tech as long as I can to kind of like let my brain wake up more slowly.
Oh my gosh.
So I love to read in the mornings. I just read a book by one of my favorite authors, Murakami, his most recent book, The City and Its Uncertain Walls, which was super cool because it's actually a rewrite. He wrote it as his second book, as a short story, like, I don't know, at the beginning of his career 30, 40 years ago. And just it always bothered him that he never got it right or got to finish the story. So now that he's achieved all this acclaim, he gave it another shot and got to write the book that he'd been wanting to write. So that was amazing to read. And then shows wise, just finished the most recent season of The Bear.
Okay.
Which is amazing.
Yes.
So
yes, it
highly,
is.
highly recommend that. Can be a little high stress, so you might want to chase it with like a neutral nature show afterwards. But
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yep. Yeah, I know. We're big The Bear fans, my husband and I, and
Nice.
I ignore any slander or the critics' reviews because I liked all seasons.
Me too.
I mean, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I feel like I just fell for the characters and I was just rooting for all of them.
Yes.
So once you get me on a show, I don't care about the critic reviews. I just want here for the journey.
Same. Kevin, before we let you go, is there anything that you want to promote, you want to share with our listeners?
I'm thinking back to the lightning round, and I'm realizing I completely messed up the fictional character question. Because rather than James Bond, one of my friends from graduate school became a spy novelist, and his books are absolutely amazing. So I would be one of his characters. His name's David McCloskey, and he's a former CIA agent, actually, which is amazing. So the books are very authentic. First one's called Damascus Station, and then another one called Moscow X. I'm also happy it's for one day. No spoilers, but they live a pretty intense life, his characters. So I don't think I'd want to do more than a day. But yeah, it'd be fun to be in his world for a bit. So
oh my gosh.
Make sure to check out those books. They're amazing.
First of all, wow. To be in the CIA, okay. But also to be a novelist is another, like, if I had more lives to live.
100%. I know.
That is another one.
I think you have a great book in you.
Oh my gosh, do I?
But also good on you for going to a bookstore. That is the most fun, like, experience, just browsing around and just seeing what piques your interest. It's something that brings me a tremendous amount of joy.
Oh my gosh, same. My husband has to leave me there for hours. So, like a drop off, like a child being dropped off. So I can spend hours just looking, because I need time to go through the books. Sometimes I do look at the reviews to see, what's worth it.
Okay.
But then it's also like a gut feel. Like, is this the right book for this season?
Yeah.
Am I in the mood for this? Am I going to finish this book? A lot of factors go into buying books.
Yeah. How does the cover feel? Is it good cover art? That's also important.
Yes, exactly.
You can't spend too much time though. I was just in London at my favorite bookstore in the world, Daunt Books, if you've ever been. And I had to stop myself because I bought 9 books and I traveled carry-on. And that was quite a journey through the airport the next day, but so worth it.
I can't resist books.
I think that's a good addiction. That's a good addiction. You can keep that one.
Yeah. I'll keep it. But
Perfect.
Kevin, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much.